In Formula 1, 10 teams battle for glory. And some really do not get it whatsoever, ever.
You let the fucking team down.
Everyone who follows Formula 1 or even thinks about Formula, they have a favorite team, and that probably usually tells something about them. Are they a safe human being? Are they murderers? Or are they terrorists? I'm not sure. All done for comedic purposes. I don't know who you are or what you think or what team you like or whatever you are in your brain, but this is just what I envision people liking certain, you know what I mean? Just come on, grow up. It's a fucking joke. Anyway, with that ramble out of the way, this is what your favorite Formula 1 team says about you. That was epic. We're going to start off with a team that has been losing for absolutely ages. Ever since 2007, 2008, they've been in the mud. And it seems like that won't change because they're not going to be a team in a couple years' time. Now, usually certain teams have a certain buzz around them, whether they're winning, oh my god, Red Bull, you are insane, or whether they just crash out every single weekend. Logan Sargent enters the chat. But Sauber really has zero buzz around them. They have two drivers which, one, can't get into the points, and two, they're good enough that they can't or won't crash often. So that leaves us with a boring team that nothing ever happens. But anyways, the only fans that Sauber has at the moment are Drake fans. Now, Drake is losing in that whole Kendrick and Drake beef, whatever the fuck that is, don't really know. And Sauber is also losing on track every single week. It's a match made in heaven. Sauber's main sponsor is Stake, and Drake and Stake gamble, you know, he wins like $4 million, and he's like, yeah, it could be better. They're probably fans of XQC, Aiden Ross, everyone who's in that area or space. You know what I'm talking about, those type of people. And I'm sorry to all the real Sauber fans who've been following way past since the BMW Sauber days, when Sauber was actually cool. BMW Sauber, that was beautiful. The liveries was cool. The drivers were actually, well, they're still competent, but it was just a bit cooler back then. You guys are the real G's. You've been putting up through pain upon 0 wins, 0 championships. Yeah.
The name's Bond. James Bond.
If you support Aston Martin, you are proud of supporting Aston Martin. You walk up everywhere drinking your little scotch, looking like an absolute G. You wear suits everywhere. You're a classy gentleman driving around in Aston Martins, traveling Europe on your grand tours.
Hammond!
Probably supporting Fernando Alonso because, who would support Lance Stroll? Lance Stroll recently came out saying that, you know what, we need good junior categories because without them, trash drivers get into Formula 1 and they pay themselves into Formula 1. Lance Stroll, you're sounding like a bit of a hypocrite because your dad owns the team, and if you didn't, you'd be probably sweeping floors somewhere, not in Formula 1. You might be classy, you might be this, that, and the other, but pretty much everyone who supports Aston Martin is probably a Fernando Alonso fan. Fernando Alonso fan through and through. You might be Spanish. You might be a 60-year-old single mother who is looking for another 60-year-old gentleman. In a nutshell, you just like Fernando Alonso. Because who supports Lance Stroll? You've got to be kind of delusional to do that, don't you? And if you do support him and live in the UK, the NHS is a free place where you can go check up your mind, see if everything is okay. Go to the doctors, it's free. And if you live in the US or somewhere else, it might be a tiny bit more expensive than that. If you want to see Lando Norris win the championship this year, or maybe even compete for the championship, maybe win the championship next year, I think you should subscribe and like, because if not, then that won't happen. So just do it now. Now, whatever you say, I do not care, because there is really only one type of Mercedes fan. Only one. One. Uno. Un? One in Spanish.
Unos.
一つ
Jeden.
Anna.
Now, if you're competent enough, and you probably are because you're an actual good human being, you probably know what I'm going to say before I'm even going to say it. Yeah, hashtag Team Lewis Hamilton. Hashtag thank you to all the people back in the factory for producing a car that can't even score a podium. Thank you to all the people back in the factory. That's it.
Back at the factory and back at the factory, all the guys back at the factory, everyone back at the factory, all the men and women we have.
The only people who support Mercedes are hashtag Team Lewis Hamilton fans. They don't support Mercedes because it's Mercedes. I don't see any German people supporting Mercedes because it's a German team. No, the only people I see supporting Mercedes is British Lewis Hamilton fans. No one cares about George Russell because...
George Russell.
I would like to be
a terrorist.
And it seems like after 2024, Mercedes is going to go from having literally the whole world supporting them. Everyone supports, I mean, there's so many Lewis Hamilton fans. Everyone who doesn't know a single little thing about Formula 1, Lewis Hamilton's the only driver they know. They just support him and that's it. And guess what? After 2024, Mercedes is going to have as many fans as Logan Sargent has points. 0. Lewis Hamilton is leaving. What's the point of supporting Mercedes? Every single hashtag LH fan, there's going to be an inter-team fight battle. Half Italians, half British, going to war. I know you know the type. I know you know the type that I'm talking about. They started supporting Mercedes because Mercedes was winning. Lewis Hamilton was a good driver. Let me support him. Glory hunter galore. And now that he's losing, slowly losing fans, but still they'll support Lewis Hamilton. They want to see how he's going to do in Ferrari, and if he does shit, and you already know that they're going to start supporting somebody else. These people, they hate Max Verstappen. They still think about what happened on the 12th of December 2021. They hate him with a burning passion. They wish they could stab him like you're walking through Croydon at night. Shing, shing, shing. Just a bit loopy people, you know what I mean? And speaking of glory hunters, you can't get more glory hunter than Red Bull.
Max Verstappen wins for Max Verstappen, Max Verstappen, Max Verstappen, Max Verstappen, Max Verstappen, Max Verstappen, Max Verstappen.
People who support Red Bull, they're definitely just fans of the winningness. They don't want to lose, they just want to keep winning. You already know that they're a part of the Dutch army. They only support Red Bull because of Max Verstappen and his winning ways. Sergio Perez, is there a real point of supporting him when your teammate is winning every single race? And whilst he's doing all of that, you're in the gravel most of the time. Not sure. You might be a tad controversial saying some weird things because, you like the controversiality of, let's say, Christian Horner. He might be behind bars in a couple years. What has he been doing recently? Helmut Marko as well, he's been up to some shenanigans. And their past history with drivers, all a bit shady. The only thing that isn't shady about them is their wins, because we already know that that car is a beast, Adrian Newey is a beast, and everything around that team. It's pretty goddamn good. Now that Adrian Newey is leaving, and let's be real, your car won't be as good as it once was when Adrian Newey was at the team. Let's see how many fans stick around when Red Bull isn't the fastest team. Let's see how many fans actually will still support Red Bull when they aren't the fastest team. That is what your average Ferrari fan looks like. Kinda sad, very depressing. Now with Monaco literally around the corner, we already know that every single Ferrari fan is going to be crying because Charles Leclerc is most likely going to bin it into the wall at least twice in that weekend. He's not going to finish the race. No, he's not even going to score a podium. He's never scored a podium at that race. Why would he now? And for goddamn sure, he is not going to win. Clip that and send it to me when he wins. Ferrari fans are pretty much the only die-hard fans in Formula 1. They support their team for the passion. They support it for the energy. They support it because it's their religion. You already know they don't go to church. Kind of weird. You already know they don't go to church. They only worship... You already know they don't go to... You already know they don't go to church. They worship... You already know they don't go to church. They worship Charles Leclerc like Sebastian Vettel worshipped that Red Bull. They light up candles. They look at Charles Leclerc like an absolute god, like an absolute genie. And they pray to him. Pray to him, please, win a championship. You've been at that team for how long? And it's been kind of disastrous. Ferrari fans have copium running through their veins. They inject that shit. They're like, next year will be our year. Realistically, will it though? Ferrari fans are cool, man. They're not glory hunters. They're there for the pure passion, pure energy, supporting the team that they most dearly loved. Ferrari, please get back to your winning ways, because 2007, that was a long time ago. Being a Ferrari fan is literally a roller coaster of emotions. You're winning one season, you're doing absolutely great. Gets to the last race of the season, Fernando Alonso times, you lose twice. You lose Fernando Alonso, back down. You gain Sebastian Vettel, he will win.
For fuck's sake. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, well, that didn't happen, did it? You see, on one hand, it's not too different to be a Ferrari fan and a Haas fan. The only difference is that Ferrari are battling at the top and sometimes have good moments, and Haas They're battling at the bottom and they never have good, but that's pretty much it. Ferrari fans, they're mostly depressed, and Haas fans, they're mostly depressed as well. In all of the seasons that they've been competing in Formula 1, they've never had an actual good season, and most of the time, this is what an average weekend looks like. All of the like 10 fans that Haas have, never seen an actual Haas fan, so just guessing there's 10. They're all definitely Drive to Survive enjoyers. They booted up Netflix one day and they were like, what's this? Clicked on the show and they were like, I'm gonna support Haas from now on. Most of the time, these guys are American as well. And do they know much about the sport? No, but they like it because Gunther Steiner was there. Now that Gunther Steiner has left, they feel a little lost. They're like, what now? The fans go into every weekend expecting a disaster class, and they get what they're thinking of. Every single weekend's a disaster. You got crashes, you got murders, you got absolute Brexit lunges. That's what Haas is. Honestly, I could say so much shit about Haas and no one would even blink twice. No one would care, because Haas have 0 fans and no one would get mad. And to the 10 people in the world that support Haas, you're a Drive to Survive enjoyer, aren't you? You see, most Alpine fans, they live in the past. They remember what they want to remember, and they remember the winning days of Fernando Alonso. In the Renault days, 5 and 6, that was cool when he dethroned Michael Schumacher. But nowadays, your team is literally the worst team on the grid. They went from scoring wins and podiums in the last couple years to now being dead last. No driver wants to race for your team. Daniel Ricciardo left. Fernando Alonso left. Oscar Piastri, no, I'm not racing for you. Bye-bye. And the only people who do support Alpine are French. Prove me wrong in the comments. We already know that they're patriotic. They wake up and this is the first thing on their mind. They want to compete with the passionate ability of the Tifosi. Supporting Alpine is like supporting Haas. Why do you even do it? Everything about Alpine has just gone downhill. From having world-class drivers in Fernando Alonso, Daniel Ricciardo, having absolute dope liveries, the 5, 4, 6 liveries, the 2021 livery, one of my favorite of all time, to having whatever the fuck this is. And of course, the performance of the car has just gone absolutely into the ground, 6 foot deep, buried. It's awful. Only a deluded French patriotic person could support this team, and that's what pretty much all their fans are. Now, I'm sorry to break your heart if you haven't had your heart broken already, but this is the absolute truth. You don't have to accept it, but I'm just telling you how it is. If you're a McLaren fan, you're an absolute basic bitch. It's like 95% of the population who follow Formula 1, they support McLaren. You're probably British, you probably support Lando Norris. You want to be safe in life. You don't want to be targeted for supporting the wrong team. You're the type of person who scrolls through whatever app you scroll through, Instagram, TikTok, and you see edits about Lando Norris. Not about his driving skills, not about how good he is, but just about him, his facial appearances, his features. You're just that person. Now, honestly, I could stand here and say you're a female, you're a male, but it's probably like a 50-50 split. You simp up to Oscar Piastri, Lando Norris, and you adore them for what they are, not their driving, but them. You also probably didn't support McLaren when Fernando Alonso was there in their bad days, 14, 15, 16. You didn't support them then, did you? You genuinely only support them because Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri are there. And you don't even care about their driving, you just care about fucking stupid edits about them. Everybody supports McLaren, it's just a basic team. But hey, like what you like. I don't really care at the end of the day, it's you. And also, who wouldn't want to see Lando Norris win this championship? I would. Maybe I'm a bit hypocritical. Am I a McLaren fan? No. But would I want to see them win? Yes. To be a Williams fan, you're only one of 2 things. You're either hard American.
Any country on the map.
Africa.
That's a continent.
Or you're born and bred in Britain. One of the 2.
That's bloody nice.
You either support them because you're British and Williams is the most British team you can have, or you're American and you support them because Logan Sargent's in the team. You like the heritage of the team, you like what's happened in the past, and you're sad that things have tumbled downhill. You support them because at the moment, let's be real, they're the underdog. You want to see them back at the top where they belong. And the day that you say you support them now, the day they're back up there, holy, that will be the proudest day of your life. You like their past. You like everything about them. You like how bad they are. You like how sometimes even worse they are. But the day they're back at the top, you will be one proud person. Or you just know wheel and you know what team you're supporting. You know you're supporting the best team. You know you're a true GOAT. But at the same time, you probably also are very, very depressed. 2023, good season for Williams. They finished P7 and you were expecting something good at the start of 2024. Surely their trajectory keeps on rising and then you head into fucking Bahrain 2024 and they are arguably the worst team on the grid. Why do you do this to my heart and everyone else's heart? Just a bit sad, come on. And Alex Albon and James Vowles, I believe. Logan Sargent, not so much. And last but not least, RB. Racing Bulls, Toro Rosso, Alpha Tauri, whatever you want to call it. The only reason why you support RB is probably because you like Daniel Ricciardo. You've been supporting Daniel Ricciardo for what's felt like ages, and you want to see him do good. You're sad that he did bad in McLaren. You're sad that he hasn't had the best start, but you want to see him be absolutely fantastic like he was in Miami. There is absolutely zero chance you support RB for the team that it is, because at the end of the day, it's just the sister team of Red Bull, and it's just a little bit irrelevant. They're never going to win anything, because if they even get close to winning, Red Bull will hit them with like a little slap. You're not meant to be doing that. And that's pretty much it. Or you're a Yuki fan and you just want to see Yuki Tsunoda absolutely pummel Daniel Ricciardo 2 feet into the ground. He doesn't have time to dig a 6-foot deep grave, just 2 feet deep, because he's back-to-back scoring points, and that's Yuki Tsunoda. I don't see anyone ever supporting that team like truly and genuinely. Just the drivers, because no one really cares about a sister team of a team that nobody really cares about. Anyway, with that said, let me know down in the comments, do you agree, do you not agree? Do you think there's any other categories of fans in the sport, or you know what I'm saying? Whilst you're down there, you might as well subscribe and like it. Don't know why you wouldn't, and don't die, because if you die, then you can't watch any of my videos. That would be kind of sad. Don't die. With that said, have a safe and fantastic rest of your day. Don't jump under a car, because then you'll die and you won't be able to watch the video. Anyway, peace.
That's all, folks.